Welcome, everybody, to the Healing Place podcast. I'm your host, Teri Wellbrock, and super, super, super excited today. I always say I'm so excited, but today I have Lainie Sevante Wulkan, and she is the food oracle, international bestselling wellness author, multi-modality healer, and intuitive. So welcome, Sevante.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Finally be here. I've been wanting to be here for a long time. So it's manifested.
Yes, yes. It's all worked out the way it's supposed to.
Yes, divine timing.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And we found each other through I narrated an audio book and then
High, high
another
vibrational
audio book.
wellness.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, yes. You did such a good job.
Oh,
And that book's really touched a lot of lives. It's from all over all four corners of the world, people have written in saying one story or another. And many people asked, will it be on audio? Will it be on Audible? And I'm like, yes. And then you showed up and it's made everybody very happy.
oh, wonderful. That makes my heart
Yeah.
smile because again, I
Yeah.
learned so much. Again, divine timing. I was working with Laura Shofroth here on Hilton Head Island as a nutritionist, and she was teaching me so many of these things. And then this book came along and I'm reading it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing these things. But I learned so much as a narrator reading this book and
Yeah.
implementing so many of these just amazing strategies of,
Yes.
like, I
25
love,
healing tools and
oh,
all so different and unique.
yes. Yeah. One of my favorites is, and I use it quite often now, is the intuitive eating part of it where I will like I'll hold something to me and be like, body, are you needing this today? And like,
Yeah.
is this what you were telling me that you want? And if I fall for, sometimes I feel like someone who shoved me from behind, like
Right. Body
stumbling forward.
pendulum.
Yeah.
No, I love you're following the teachings. That's amazing.
Yes.
I call that for people who aren't familiar with what you're saying, soul shopping, because it's so important that people take that time before they go into the grocery store and they're bombarded with choices. And before, I always say, and I say it in the book, to just sit in your car and get really present. And in the book, I have a little invocation that just has you come into that space. You did your own, and however you do it, because what is in alignment in this moment may not be what's in alignment yesterday or the day before. And so that's also a good reason why people should buy and consume more often than, people who buy in bulk for a week. Like, follow the presence and the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual moments of your life, because that makes all the difference. If you stay on track, then it's like you are feeding literally your soul of what it needs in that moment.
Yes, and I've learned that it's so true. We're very blessed to have a grocery store within 3 minutes of our home, and
Oh, wow.
so
Perfect.
yes,
Perfect.
I'll just ride my bike up there sometimes, just because I'm like, hey, let's ride the bike, but or just hop in the car and go on up. But same sort of thing. Like, I'll stand there in that in the vegetables and fruits and all of that fun stuff, and just be like, like, is something glowing at me?
Right. And then what's really interesting, because there wasn't really a guide that I knew until I felt that it was time to channel in the food healing oracle deck, which is kind of goes back to the basis of my teachings, and that came in 2009. But it really provides a guide. It's like, why am I craving Brussels sprouts? Or what is it about butternut squash that I am glowing and needing? And when there starts to be some clues, you can actually open up this book or app or cards or however you want to do it, and understand that there is a message from spirit. There's a message from Mother Nature saying something that your body may need. Maybe it's a mineral, maybe it's a vitamin, maybe it's something for your chakras. Think of just butternut squash, and that orange yellow could be like something going on with your sacral and solar plexus. And so, or it could be something related to coming back into balance with nature, because we are this earth, air, fire, water, spirit, walking embodiments of nature. And so it's so amazing to see what's glowing and then have a reference to figure out what that glow means.
Yes, I
I
love
like
that.
that word.
And you brought up the deck, and I know to me, I loved so much that I've learned about the deck, but can you talk to folks about it a little bit and how they get a hold of it, how they utilize it?
Yes, I'm happy to. It's really the basis of what I'm going to say is my life's work, because up until the time in 2019 when this deck came in, downloaded, channeled, however you want to say it. In this on your podcast, I could say that there's been times where I'm on real mainstream shows and I'm like, well, I made these food flashcards, you know.
Yeah,
So like it
right.
was, I have to like kind of like, massage my words, but I come from a multi-lineage, multi-generational, intuitive family. So I grew up with oracle cards. I grew up with tarot cards. My whole life, I've been extremely intuitive, clairvoyant, clairsentient, all the clairs. And so it was very natural for me to work with oracle cards. And I also grew up with a nutritionist. My mom was a health food nut. I went to school for uh, dietetics and nutrition and food science. And so my whole life I've kind of dedicated to understanding food, the whys on the science side, and then the understanding of the energy, frequency, and vibration of food. And so my career, although I've moved into other things and I was in Hollywood and I produced events, I did lots of other things and meditations, but I've always been a foodie and worked with chefs, been a chef. And so it was very timely that 35 plus years later, I was taking an advanced healing course, and a colleague of mine and I were discussing our passions, and food was definitely one of them. And, anyways, the idea came about, which was how to combine these talents and understand if food could be an oracle. And yes, it could. And as it turned out, I finished this course, this really difficult course, and then I said, okay, Spirit, tell me about blueberries. Just kind of almost like, yeah, let's just see what we got here. And it was like a tidal wave. It was like a tsunami of enlightened wisdom. The foods just on screen in my mind were just showing up. Cherries and strawberries and broccoli and asparagus. And it was like, I just couldn't write them down fast enough. So then I really sat with them. Well, okay, so tell me more. And anyways, 60 foods were channeled and brought forward. And what was crazy about it is that after the deck was birthed, so many other pieces started to show up. So, how does food relate to tarot's major arcana? That came up like, oh wow, these 22 foods. How do angels, hence the new book, but how do angels want us to eat? And is there some correlation there? Food in the zodiac sign. So this food healing oracle deck became sort of this guide, and then it really took off. So it came out in 2020. Now we're up to almost 40 countries it's been shipped to. It's just amazing because everyone eats. Food is so ceremonial. Everyone has some sort of relationship, most of the time not good unless they're really on the health journey. And it's just been a guide that not only tells you how intuitively you can eat, and that's where intuitive food therapy was born, but mostly it's giving you guidance on the why and the what and the how, the who, what, where, why, of food, and what are you having on your dinner plate. There's a bigger story to tell. And if you start to see these messages, you can actually kind of be more active in your ability to choose foods for your wellness, your upliftment in your moment of what is, like, I love that word that you said, is glowing. And so 2.5 years later, a second book came out, a second deck, because people would write, chefs, we're using your foods and making intentional meals. And I'm like, oh my God, that's all I've ever dreamed about. And people would write, do you have this food? Do you have that food? And it's like, okay, started amassing a list. Well, second deck called Second Helpings came out, and it was 60 more foods. So now, and then there's some bonus cards. So now there's 124 foods that that anyone could work with and get a deeper understanding. What are onions telling me? What are scallions telling me? What are cloves telling me? And I've had so many thousands of people say, "Oh my God, I just was craving that. Oh my God, I just bought that last night." So I try to do that in a nutshell, but that's what it is, and it's become a very expansive teaching. So hence the name, the Food Oracle, and it really is amazing because even people who, if you're in the Harry Potter world, like the Muggles, like or the
Yeah.
wizards, right? So the Muggles, I've been to places where people didn't even know anything about this, but then I would read their plates, and I can tell just what they put on their plate, the colors, the amounts, separate together. I was able, like people read tea leaves, I was reading their dinner. And I would say, wow, I mean, I can tell you're going through grief right now. I mean, I would be able to just see what's happening just based on their food choices. And it was accurate every time. And so there's something to it. It's not just me, it's anyone can learn this. And that's what the wisdom is put right into the decks for anyone to do at home use. Of course, we teach classes and deeper dives, but yeah, these decks, and yes, you can get them on my website. They're not anywhere else. They're not online except on my website and in some stores.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
so now obviously all healthy foods. What about people who say, "Oh my gosh, I'm craving sugar. I'm craving the salty snacks. I'm craving," like, is this something they can then utilize to help them steer away from those things?
Yeah, definitely. I think I get that question a lot, and or they'll ask about cheese, or they'll ask about grains, or they'll ask about proteins, and it is a plant-based deck. So what does that mean? It means fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts, and spices. And a lot of times those cravings have lots of different reasons. They don't always mean it's physical. It could be physical, right? There could be a hormone imbalance. There could be a million different reasons why our system's off and it's leaning us towards that. But we don't have anything in there that isn't from Mother Earth's direct source of what she's saying is for your highest and best. And although sugar is natural from sugar cane, it isn't for our highest and best. And so we know that. I believe that the foods that have been put in there are very high vibrational. They're all meant to do something beautiful for the body. They all are packed with nutrition, whether it's an omegas or an antioxidant, whatever it is. There's foods in there that foods for your moods, great for mental health. And so that's what we teach is that these teachings are for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness. And
Awesome.
once you
And
start to make the connection, you can understand, hey, I just had a fight with my spouse. I just had a bad day at work. I lost the sale. Like you can actually track your moods and then see what you go and crave. And most of the time, when you're having one of those moments, you're craving something that's not in your highest and best.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I have my dad passed away from complications from diabetes. So I know
Mm.
sugar is my thing. Like that's my addiction, right? And so
Yeah.
when I was having the histamine intolerance things going on with mold, I found myself unable to eat that kind of stuff. And so I really, really shifted to super whole food, organic food eating. And
Beautiful.
now, like, I get so excited. I know I drive my family crazy because when I'll make myself this giant salad and it'll have all this goodness in it, right? And I'm over there like, oh this is so good. Like I am literally sending gratitude into the universe with each bite. And I'm like, I'm sorry I'm making all this noise when I'm eating, but I love it.
You know, I have a interesting, relevant salad story because you brought it up. And so I did a preview once, gathered a bunch of people, and I was doing an introduction to the Food Healing Oracle deck. And the host made this beautiful salad, all the colors of the rainbow. That right? We're taught. I've even interviewed Dr. Gabriel Cousins. He implemented that first idea to everybody: eat for the rainbow. So this salad was gorgeous, and people were like oohing and eyeing it. And I saw what was in there. There was cucumbers and there was pomegranates and there were beautiful red onions and there was some mango and there was just all these deliciousness going on. And I said to everyone, gather around the salad. And I know you're seeing it visually, that it's beautiful. Now I want you to close your eyes and picture this when you start to eat this salad. You're eating a salad filled with spirit, balance, acceptance, joy, etc., etc. Because we are then embodying that frequency, the frequency of joy, the frequency of balance, the frequency of spirit, the highest vibration. And so I was telling them what each of these beautiful parts of the rainbow, all the food, broccoli for growth, and they were blown away because that's what we're telling our body. That's what we're eating. That's what we're putting in as they were eating the salad. So they were loving the color, but now they're like, wow, my salad is filled with spirit and joy and like just, woo, it's like raise the roof.
Yeah, I love that so much. And that's what I feel like I'm eating gratitude. Like that's kind of where I
Yes,
am with it,
moringa.
right?
That's our moringa card, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yes. Eating
I
gratitude. Like, what does that feel like? It feels light. It feels enlightened. It feels beautiful. I mean, what does it mean to you? Because that's what you are telling your body. You're harmonizing your body with that frequency of gratitude.
yes, yeah, and it is, and it's like it's almost like a I want to say glow again. But it's like a lightness in my soul, which is like I feel here. So yeah, very cool. So well, let's take a little left turn, but kind of not, but
Yeah.
to talk about I told you before we hit record that I follow you. We're connected on Facebook and I love your retreat. Like I live vicariously and just like, oh my God, this is so cool. But this is also related to
Yes.
what you're doing. So let's talk about your retreats and what's inspired that and all the good stuff about it.
Thank you so much. That's a huge passion of mine. I've been a world traveler my whole life. And it was when the Food Healing Oracle deck came about and there were people, readers and fans from all over the world. And someone said, wouldn't it be great if we all just met and read for a week? And I thought, well, that would be amazing. And can you teach us, some new spreads? Can you, show us this or that. And I was like, of course. And then it just made the most perfect sense is to do these exotic retreats all over the world. We go for a week to 10 days, depending on the location. And I bring them the teachings. So we find a location. We've been to Costa Rica, we've been to Greece, India, Nepal's coming up. We're going to Sicily. We've been to many, many places. And what's nice is that I give them a hands-on experience of what it's like to live according to the principles of eating intuitively. Intuitive food therapy. So there's cooking classes. There's always a top chef providing the most nourishing meals for your mind, body, and soul. There's outings, but it's really there's of course free time and people break out their cards and everybody's doing readings and healings. The last one I put together for Costa Rica earlier this year. We had 8 out of the 25 authors from Food Healing Oracle, sorry, from High Vibrational Wellness. And that was so amazing because we had everyone read their chapter and share those strategies or tools, as you mentioned before. And it's just an amazing time for people to just restore, rejuvenate, reboot, really go home fully expanded, understanding food better, understanding how to connect really all the dots, eating for your chakras, feeding your chakras in the most high vibrational way, learning more about the elements, sacred geometry. I just kind of put all my teachings into this week and just pamper people to really see what's possible for themselves. And it's just been amazing. We've just have done this now lots of countries. We've got several coming up. I'm leaving soon for a retreat, an Alaskan retreat, and then later in the year, and that's tied into the teas, but we'll be in Nepal and India. Next year, we'll be at a 17th century farmhouse in Sicily, which is totally farm to table. They literally understand what it's like to nourish the land and then prepare the food right in that moment, what is available that day and what resonates with the group. So I can't wait for that. And lots of cooking classes there. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're called Nourish Your Soul Retreats. We have a Facebook group for it. And then I also have something called the High Vibe Wellness Tribe, which is off social media, but it's its own online platform where all my things are in there too. So, but if you're on Facebook, it's the Nourish Your Soul Retreats, and then we'll maybe give them the invite to. It's free to join the High Vibe Wellness Tribe.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. And I'll put links in show notes, folks, so you can find it
Great,
there as well.
great,
Yeah.
great, great. Thank you.
Sure, sure. So you brought up the teas, and I said that was one of the things we were going to talk about. So yeah,
Yes.
that's a super, I know, very dear to your heart project, or I don't even know if it's a
Yeah,
project, just
I
like
mean, at the
work.
project, it's a ministry. It's just incredible. The colleague I've known for 15 years, his family are all wellness Ayurvedic gurus and practitioners and doctors, and they've had centuries old formulas for a very long time and all sorts of conditions. I mean, there's actually 50. They're not teas per se, because actually a tea, I'm teaching people who didn't know this. Teas are everyone loosely uses the word tea, but tea is actually only technically if you have one particular Camellia sinensis, it's a tea leaf. But these are herbal infusions, and these beautiful herbs are a consortium of like 7 to 10 Ayurvedic herbs that are grown at the base of the Himalayas. And he formulated them, and he said, I'd really love for you to bring them to the US. You'll love them. Most of the ingredients are herbs that are from your food healing oracle deck. You'll completely fall in love. I said, send me one. And he sent me the immunity one. And I'm like, wow, this is good. So we started calling it Good Immunity. And I really noticed he sent it during a time where it was winter and were dealing with everything going around. And I was staying pretty strong. And then he was telling me that during the pandemic, over where he was, people were lined up for miles to get like a little cup. And one herbal infusion after another. Now I'm up to 13. But eventually there'll be 50. But right now we have good mood, good sleep, good cleanse, good weight, good blood pressure, you name it, good weight. Oh my gosh, I might have said that one. Good memory. That's like our number one seller. But what's amazing is that these teas not only assist the people drinking them, but they also help cultivate income for these farmers who are still kind of wrapped in a 200-year culture that they think that the only way to make money is to disempower and sell off their children to trafficking. It's real. And what we're doing is working on raising financing to make a movie about this story, how my partner, Santosh, is like leading this charge to work with these farmers, to work with politicians, to work with these districts and say, hey, we'd love to cultivate these beautiful, fertile lands of yours to help other people heal from from this condition or that, cholesterol, diabetes. We have these herbal infusions that support all that. And you'll be earning a wonderful wage, and you can use that for your family. So we want to pursue that, and I want to create a film around his story, our story. And so I've met survivors of trafficking, and I've met the politician, these women who are braving a lot to make a difference there. So yes, one leaf at a time. These herbal infusions are called Nourish Your Soul herbal infusions. They're amazing, and I'm very proud of them. And I'm happy to share wherever I can about them. And it just fits perfectly with my philosophy around consciousness of food and how our bodies can tell us what we need. And these herbs are they're immaculate, organic and sugar free and caffeine free and just they're working wonders for
I
sure.
love it. I love it. Well, and I was like, ooh, make a skin one or an anti-inflammation one if they have
You
one.
know what? We do have a good skin one.
Ooh,
I'm going to send you a good skin. I'm so glad you said that. It is actually one of our best ones. He says it's so effective. He called me and he said, you don't have the one for skin, but we're seeing uh, so many feedbacks. And I said, you know what? Skin would be great. I know a lot of people with eczema and
yeah.
all sorts of plaque psoriasis, all that. And so we do have one. It's
Yeah, and
coming your way.
that's what this is psoriasis, an autoimmune response, right? Inflammation.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's so cool.
Coming
Oh my
at you,
gosh.
girl. Coming at you.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Uh,
So anyways, that's a really amazing. So I went last year. I met everybody. I got to see the factory. I got to see the women who hand sort and clean these wonderful herbs. And we have one for throat. I mean, there are just so many beautiful ones. And then now I'm bringing a group as a Nourish Your Soul retreat this year. There's still a couple more spots, and that's it. And I'll be taking everyone to meet it's also incense we do too. We work with the Tibetans there who actually pray over and hand roll our incense and oh, they just a
wow.
beautiful
That
incense. And so we have incense for chakras and for the elements. So my Nourish Your Soul attendees will get eat, pray, love over there. So we get to go and work with the Tibetans and chant and all that good stuff.
yeah, that is absolutely amazing. Again, if I I have trauma history that had me very oh, what's the word, agoraphobic for a long time, and
Oh,
I did a lot of the
oh,
healing work, right? And so now
yeah.
I'm much better about it, but the travel piece of it, like my mind, my heart, my soul, like was like, oh, go see the world, like go experience it. And like, so I want to do these things. And I just, again, I said I'm living vicariously. And then my trauma brain goes, hold up, freeze.
Oh,
So yeah,
oh.
like I really truly like I'm so drawn to this. I think it's my soul telling me, go do it, Teri, go do it, Teri, go do it. So anyway.
Well, one thing I can share with you, I'm good at working some of those pieces out just when I work with my clients. So that's something. But two, you are so cradled and protected in love with the people who come on these groups. You probably see in the picture, everyone leaves best friends.
Yeah.
I've been, really an expert traveler for a long time. I just cover all the details, and we have just a great team that help and support. Like there's not much you have to be concerned about or worried about in terms of some of extraneous stuff. We just attend to everything that's at least in our control.
Sure.
And we've had people who were concerned about their own different things about flying or, going to a foreign country or, eating foreign foods. And so far, we've had a really good experience. And
Oh,
I've taken 20, 30 people on these trips. 18 I took to we did it a week in Greece or 10 days in Greece, but we thought Istanbul's a really fun place. So I took 5 before we even started the retreat and let them experience Istanbul and the food and the culture and things that I knew because I had been there years before. So yeah, it's
yeah.
fun. But I hope one day we see you on one of these excursions.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to make it, I'm putting it on my bucket list because I just loved being a part of it, even through social media and witnessing. Because you're right, I can just, the energy that comes off of even the pictures alone is just beautiful. And I know, like, one of the things, like you see, my sister painted this angel right over my
Mhm.
shoulder, and
Yeah, I see it.
I always feel like angels are with me. So I'm really trying to lean into that and being like, I'm not alone if in these travels, like I have my angel with me. So, and I know one of the things we wanted to talk about was your most recent book that's just come out, which I told you I'm on chapter 3, loving it. And is you have this book. So talk to us about the latest release.
Yes, and I wish I had it right here, but Angelic Resonance just came out with my co-creatress, Angela Aurora Medway Smith. We have been kind of dancing for a few years now in writing and creating in spirit, and she's just my soul sister. And I was in her first book many years ago, Energy Healer's Oracle. And I kind of gave a mini memoir because she had gone around the world and hand selected, certain people who had their own unique modality. And so that I had one, food is a modality. And so that was birth. And then she came out with the second one, Energy Healers Oracle 2. Was in that. Then she came into mine. She came into High Vibrational Wellness, did a great chapter on transmuting toxins in food. It was just so right up my alley. And using the violet flame chakra, violet flame awakening technique. And then in all of our discussions, doing all these collaborative books, we said, wouldn't it be great? We just one-on-one, and she said, the angels really want, she's just such a dynamic human
I
being.
adore her. I
And
just
she
adore
just,
her.
yeah, so she just really, we talked a lot about the archangelic realm. I had an angel spread in the second deck. Each deck comes with, layouts. They're called spreads. It's kind of funny because it's a food thing, spreads. But one of them was actually a angel spread. And so she knew I loved angels, I love food, I love angel food, cake. And so she said the angels would love to really share greater messages. And I just said, oh, I just will love that. Anyways, it took us 3 years to get here. And now it's been out 3 weeks, hit #1 in multiple countries. It just exploded. And it's amazing because sometimes when things hit #1, it'll be like 1 or 2 days, but we're weeks now and we're still at #1 in angel categories and all sorts of different categories around the world. My daughter's in Australia. She's like, Mom, it's still #1 down here. It's just amazing. We're so grateful, but it really focuses. It's definitely like next level because we bring in quantum theory, quantum codes. We created the angelic grid of consciousness. So it really gives you a whole understanding of the angel, the food, the blessing or color, code, symbol. And then I know that sounds like a lot, but we actually put it in kind of a compact way of understanding it. But first we got to lay out all the pieces. So you're getting sort of right now, chapter 3, you're getting like, here's a piece, here's a piece, here's the piece. And then soon, a couple chapters in, it's like, now let's put this all together. And there's even days of the week that angels have an energy that has more predominance of what food, what color. And we give you really good guidance on how to eat food at its highest vibration. And so these codes and particular foods, it all ties in so beautifully. And I highly recommend the book for people who really, especially if you're connected to the archangelic realm. Archangel Michael, Raphael, there's, the whole legion's there. And we're super excited that it's having this response because we thought, is this a small niche of people who are going to love this, or is this a big niche? And turns out it's a bigger niche. People trying to understand how this all connects. I mean, we pray over our food, right? Most people say grace or they pray before their meal. But let's just take it a next step further. Let's pray to the angels and let's hear from the angels of how they want us to prepare the food before we even do it. That's in alignment with what our body or our group, our family needs right now. And that's what we aim to do in the book.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And I love it. It so speaks to me. I mean, angels, not to get religious, but I grew up very Catholic and
Uh-huh.
I still I don't go to church every Sunday, but it's still an important part. My faith is still an important part of my life. And so, but angels, from my understanding, transcend religion. It's like
Oh, yeah.
every religion has talks about angels or not maybe not every, but a vast majority. And so
I
you've
feel
got
they're non-denominational myself. I grew up Jewish, so I mean everything's, yeah, we didn't grow up with all these angels or saints or anything, but I think
yeah.
they're non-denominational. They watch over everybody.
Yes.
no
Yeah.
matter
And that's kind of the
what
point.
you believe.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said that was the
Yeah.
point I was trying to get to. Yeah, is that, that I think your angel book resonates with people because it's beyond like the religion part of it. These are these amazing, beautiful beings of light, in my opinion, that are here to help us and guide us. And they're just here to help elevate us, is my understanding. Is that
Yes.
right?
And the more you read that, you get to know who you can call on for different things. I need to have more trust in this situation. I need to feel more balanced. I need more wisdom. This is a real mind bender. They have certain characteristics or uh sources of that they sources areas that they excel at. So this is a really good opportunity to get to know them even more because they're around whether we know them or not. And there's all levels of angels. There's and that's what you learn in the book is there's a whole hierarchy, including our beloved pets and family, who are angels watching over us too, that are no longer here.
Yeah. Oh, I just think that's so precious. And somebody had told me recently, and I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about like when I was really struggling about calling upon the seraphim, and I was like, wow. And so then I started researching because I didn't know a whole lot about the different levels, and wow, it's just so incredible and so fascinating.
Yes.
I know since my kids were very, very little, my mom had always done it, and I do it. I say a prayer to their guardian angel every night for them, even though they're grown and adults. I still do it because I'm
Me
telling you.
too.
And my son John, he was in an accident when he was living in Denver, in a car accident. He called me and he said, and he was in this little tiny car, and he's 6'3", right? And the whole
Oh,
car, the front end of the car, an older gentleman, like 93, ran a red light and pulled right in front of him. So John T-boned it, this guy. And whole front end of his car's crunched in, but around him in the driver's window, like there wasn't even a crack in the windshield. And he said, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt as if somebody came from behind me and wrapped their arms around me from behind and held me back. He didn't even hit the airbag. Like, and again, he was in this little Ford Focus, 6'3" man. And he didn't have anything
wow.
other than burns on his two thumbs from the airbags. And I said, well, that's your guardian angel because your mom prays your guardian angel every night.
I believe it. I believe it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah,
They're all around us. And it would stand to reason that they're here, the unseen world is here to look out for us. And wouldn't it stand to reason they also want to look out for us on assistance on how to preserve our body temple, how to keep it at its highest vibration, how to keep it, how to have longevity. So the wisdom that's been channeled to Angela and I has been conveyed, with some directives and suggestions, and it's from them. So we're just stewards of that wisdom.
beautiful, beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I know we could sit and talk about a whole lot of stuff, but I certainly want to give you an opportunity as we close out here to maybe touch upon anything we haven't had a chance to, or leave folks with any words of wisdom.
Yes, thank you. Just thank you so much for allowing me to be here, share some hopefully new wisdom for and nourishing at that for your audience. And I always say that the one thing, if I could leave you with anything, is that these cliches you hear are there for a reason. One would be the trust your gut. Really trust your intuition. It's there. It's been built in. It's the conduit to the divine. You are what you eat. Some of these things have been in place because they have been tried and tested. And now I've used them emphatically because we have the ability to open up our refrigerator, to choose when we go to the store what is in our highest and best. Like you said, hold it close to you or become a body pendulum. But there are now resources that can help you expand upon this wisdom. And I feel very blessed and honored to be one of those resources. And you can learn more about what I do. I have a website called Center for Intuitive Food Therapy.com. We also make it easy, and it's CIFT to abbreviate that, CIFTofficial.com. And I welcome you all to learn more about the High Vibe Wellness Tribe. We have a collective group that's in there for free, and there's my classes, my meditations, card pools, the Nourish Your Soul retreats, the teas, just about all sorts of my worlds. I call it a house. I call it a house with many rooms because I used to have 11 Facebook pages and I can't do it all. So I thought, wow, what if we were just under one roof and everyone can see whether they love labyrinths or they love retreats or they want to take a certification course or whatever it is, go shop for a deck and learn more about this on your own. I've created this and it's free to join, and I welcome anyone who feels called to it.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
so awesome. And I love it. And I had the same thing. I had seven different emails and trying to do it
Yeah.
all. And you're right. It's exhausting because you're like, what do I give my attention to? But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what's the
wonderful.
best use of my time? And I just thought, and the other thing is with all those groups, someone who wanted to see me for a class may know nothing about retreats or they didn't realize that I love labyrinths and love to talk about that. And I thought they just don't know what all my other worlds are. Let's bring them all together, which I did. And so I welcome you to come in there. It's just an amazing environment to learn, be inspired, meet other people. We do Sundays, we do tea times. I introduce a tea, an herbal infusion, and we sit and talk about its health benefits. And it's just it's community, and I think cherries is our card for community, and that's what it's all about, is finding your tribe and finding ways to further your journey into wellness. So I'm glad I could be part of that, and I hope people want to join.
Yeah. And how do we join that again?
Yeah, it's a link because the only way I have it on all my Facebook pages, but I can give you the link. There's a link to learn, and you can choose one of the different ways
Oh,
to access it. But it's not listed anywhere, but it's called the High Vibe Wellness Tribe, and it's part of the Mighty Networks. So I send a link to an invite, and I'll give you that link, and we'll go from
awesome.
there.
All
Yeah,
right, cool. All righty. Well, it's so good to see you face to face. And yeah, it's
same.
just been just such a gift. One, I just feel honored to have been able to voice your book, High Vibrational Wellness. And
Yes.
it's just
And
all of it.
hopefully Angelic Resonance. And
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you just do such a great job, and you just hold the right space for me and for Angela. And it just, of course, we both were like, she's the
Oh,
one.
thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Well,
thank
I
you.
feel again, my heart smiles. So thank you so much. And
Yes.
again, thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us today. All right.
And I'm going to send you some good skin.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay. I know. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. All
Yeah.
right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us today on the Healing Place podcast. And remember, until next time, be gentle with yourself. Thanks.
Mm.
Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. Teri Wellbrock here. Just wanted to thank you again for being a part of this healing space and my hashtag Hope for Healing journey. Thank you for sharing, liking, inviting others to join, listening in. You've really helped this show blossom. It has now been downloaded in 136 countries and is in the top 2% globally out of 3.2 million shows, which is just amazing. And it's all because of you and your tuning in and inviting others and sharing and liking and loving. And your reviews on Apple really help too. My goal is to hit 100 5-star reviews by the end of the year. And I am closing in on that. So if you are listening in on Apple or Apple Podcasts, please go and rate the show and leave a review if you absolutely love it. And I would be most appreciative. Also, if you would like to receive my monthly Hope for Healing newsletter, please be sure to go to teriwellbrock.com. It's TERI, just one R, WELLBROCK.com. And I have a gift to send you for signing up for that monthly Hope for Healing newsletter. Plus, there are many other resources listed on that page, including a resource library. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.